Hi, my name is Manuel Acosta, and today I will be going over my philosophy of education. So first, I'd like to introduce myself. I am a third year at Cal State Fullerton. I am a biology major specializing in molecular biology. I live in Glendora, California, and I'd want to either teach high school or college level science. So what is the role of education? There are three roles that fall under the purpose of education. The purpose of education is to give the proper tools to students so that they can succeed academically as well as be prepared to be good citizens of the world and for any possible work, as well as providing them the information to be able to achieve academically or strive for a certain career, as well as the guidance from pre-existing knowledge that we have on how to get to the job they want or how to be better at school. The next is the role of the teacher. I feel like the role of the teacher is to be informed about the subject you are teaching. What I mean by that is constantly uh, um, just hearing things from other teachers about how they did something and it didn't pan out well for them. So maybe I could do it a different way rather than what they originally had. And another thing about the role of the teacher is to keep learning. What I mean by keep learning is constantly looking for new articles and new um, information about things that are changing, as not everything in science is constant, and adapting basically to those new changes, as well as listening to the students, listening about their concerns about the class, if it's about a test or just the way you do things, to be able to be a better teacher for them. The next is the role of the student. Now, the student, their role is to learn the material and then be able to apply that material to a task that you're given, like a lab or any type of experiment, as well as create connections with fellow classmates as they are growing up to be adults. So one would hope that they can be able to be socially active, to be socially healthy, and to understand the purpose of why they're being taught. Why are they learning about the mitochondria, or why are they learning about different parts of uh, the human body? Next is what to teach. I would like to teach biology, chemistry, geoscience, and maybe physics. Depends on if I can learn it or not. But those are the main focuses I would like to teach in high school or college. I think the biggest thing that teachers don't really teach is what can students do for the rest of their lives with what they're learning? As in, why are they learning it? And, or I guess I would say the possible choices they have. Like, what does a degree in microbiology do for you versus a degree in environmental science do for you? What are the possible jobs? And I would really like for them to understand what people who publish these research, such as Watson and Crick or other famous scientists, to know what they did to get to that spot they're in, and know that it's not impossible. They just need to know how to get there. The next subject is whom to teach. I think I would like to focus on college or high school because of the more difficult subject matter. Because the main reason I would like to teach is because I love science. I love learning about science. And so if it's just basic science, I don't think it would be too interesting to do over and over every single year. As well as high school students and college students have a more of a will to study and learn as rather than they see recess time, you know? And then the pros and cons for college and high school. For college, they're paying to be there, so they have a more inclination, whereas high school, they're just forced to be there. And in high school and college, Some of them have an idea of what they want to do if they're taking an upper level division class because they've already committed, or they're taking the class because it's required for their degree. Whereas high school, it's just the standards that are passed down by the states. And college can cover more difficult content than high school, as high school is limited to what the state requires. However, high school classes do have AP classes, which do go in above and beyond what the state requires, which may be another option because that course material would be interesting to teach. On to how to teach. There are three sections of teaching I would like to focus on: curriculum, instructional strategies, and assessment. For curriculum, I will focus on a biology class. And a biology class, I would divide it up into cell biology, environmental biology, genetic biology, and evolutionary biology. And in that curriculum, I would want them to understand what different career paths they have with each different section. Because if somebody was really liking environmental science but didn't really like cell biology, they could know that, oh, just this section of science is a career choice rather than all of it together. On to the instructional strategies. So for the instructional strategies, I would like to do weekly presentations in person, or from the students, on a particular uh, person like Watson and Crick or Albert Einstein, and how they got there, like what schooling they went through, what degrees they ended up with, and what's how long it took them, so they get an idea or perspective on what happened, or like it's not just magic, they got a degree or and are so smart. As well as I would love to do online and in-person instruction. What I mean by online instruction is just homework and assignments online. That way I could never lose them, because if it's not turned in, it's not turned in. But if someone hands it to me physically and I lose it and I don't know if I lost it or they lost it, it's kind of a struggle there. And the in-person instruction is just uh, presenting the information from the textbook to this class and hoping they understand it, as well as applying that information to labs and projects, such as like growing fast plants and then crossbreeding them and seeing if we could select for a certain gene, or just the basic one of swapping X and Y chromosomes with and just chromosomes with each other to see the different possibilities and outcomes of a certain individual. The last is the assessment. So, as I was talking about with the online uh, homework, it would be like a couple assignments during the week just for like a pre-assessment of what was going to happen in class that day. And then over the weekend, there would be an online summative assessment of everything that we went over in class to be able to gauge which students struggled on it and which students understand it. And I can look at that information on the grade book and relay that back and give those people that are people that are struggling more attention than the others. Lastly is the conclusion. If I can get there. The conclusion is I want to be a science teacher, and a big part of me teaching is the impact on the career choice. I want to have a big impact on career choice, as in just giving the students information they need to be able to make a smart decision on what career they want. As well as another big factor for me for becoming a teacher is the course content being difficult enough to keep myself challenged, not just saying this is the mitochondria, this is the Golgi apparatus, but like really diving deep into like maybe the electron transport chain inside the mitochondria and stuff like that. That, in conclusion, is why I would like to be a teacher.